Imagine a group of people, all of them grown adults, with free will to choose. Imagine that they go on a trip that none of them want to go on. This is known as the Abilene Paradox or the bus to Abilene. This is a phenomenon in which a group of people, in this case they were all family members, collectively make a decision that none of the individual members actually desire or want. But they do it because of their individual fears of not wanting to rock the boat or of not fitting in. Well, the story goes like this. On a hot afternoon in Coleman, Texas, and boy was it hot, 100 plus degrees, the family is comfortably playing dominoes on a porch until the father-in-law suggests that they take a 50-mile trip to Abilene for dinner. The wife says, sounds like a great idea. The husband, despite having reservations because of the drive, it's long, it's hot, thinks his preferences must be out of step with the group and says, sounds good to me as well. I just hope your mother wants to go. The mother-in-law then says, of course I want to go. I haven't been to Abilene in a long time. The drive is hot, extremely hot. It's dusty. From the partially paved road and lack of rain, the air conditioning is more like a dusty fan than an air conditioner. It's a long trip on a hot, humid, sunny day. When they arrive at the cafeteria, the food is just as awful as the drive. They're all silently thinking to themselves, we had much better food at home in the fridge that just needed to be warmed up. I didn't have to get dressed up, leave the comfortable ranch, but this is what the others wanted. So they finished eating, pay for a tip, and then they arrive back home 4 hours later, hot, with less money, frustrated, exhausted. One of them then dishonestly says, that sure was a great trip, wasn't it? The mother-in-law says that actually she would have rather stayed home but went along since the other three were so enthusiastic. The husband says, I wasn't delighted to be doing what we were doing. I only went to satisfy the rest of you. The wife says, I just went along to keep you happy. I would have been crazy to want to go out in heat like that. Well, the father-in-law then says that he only suggested it because he thought the others might be bored and need a change in scenery. The group then sits back, perplexed, that they collectively somehow decided to take this awful trip in this old car that none of them wanted. They each would have preferred staying home and enjoying leftovers, but didn't want to speak their truth when they still had time to enjoy the afternoon. You see, the Abilene Paradox highlights the danger of groupthink or herd mentality. This is when we follow the beliefs or actions of the larger group without thinking for ourselves. When we prioritize fitting in at the inconvenience of our own desires and wants. I mean, how easily are you swayed to follow herd mentality versus exercising free will? Well, there's an easy way to find out. I want you to try this. On your computer or on a piece of paper, draw a horizontal line and create two lists. Evaluate your current mood. What right now, at this very moment, makes you happy? What are you looking forward to today, tomorrow, this week, and then vice versa? What's your biggest source right now of angst? That thing or those things that you absolutely dread doing today, this week, this month. Now, is your these are the things I absolutely enjoy list greater than the list of things that cause displeasure or angst? Or is it the other way around? As you're evaluating your list, I want you to keep this in mind. No matter what anyone tells you, to include your own ego, it is your birthright to live a comfortable, wealthy, healthy, happy life. You didn't come here to be miserable. You came to this experience you know as your life in order to be able to reject completely the consensus view of reality imprinted upon you since birth, and to replace that structure of understanding with a perspective that totally transcends it, end quotes. That's one of my favorite quotes by Oneness. You see, sometimes we have to reevaluate everything we've been taught, especially when we reach that point, and you know what point I'm talking about, where we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then begin to recognize when we're continuing to participate in engagements merely out of habit because it's been imprinted upon us since birth. So question why you don't like things. You can start with the easy stuff. For example, several years ago, I joined a volunteer organization that I was very actively involved in. I mean, I did my part, which included extracurricular activities, and I was good at it. So you know what happens next. There came more responsibility. I was invited now to hold a position to be an officer on the committee. This involved running the business of the organization, which also involved a time commitment, those dreadful meetings. Now, at that time, I was also working full time. I was an executive in charge of an organization in my professional life. I would wake up at too early, 3:50 a.m. to beat the traffic and get downtown, only to return home 15 hours later at 7 that evening. Now, I know that sounds familiar to a lot of people. A lot of people are doing just that or more. The hours were long and the work was challenging. That too had to change, but that's a story for another day. The last thing I needed was another meeting to go to Tuesdays at 7, especially a volunteer meeting. But guess what? That's what I signed up for. I would usually forego dinner trying to navigate traffic and get to the other side of town in time for a 1900 or 7 p.m. meeting. The meeting would last almost always to the minute 2 hours. It felt like we were meeting to time, not standard. I mean, I could have run these meetings in 30 minutes. The meetings always went well beyond good idea cutoff time. That's the point when everything that needs to be said has been said, but not everyone has said it. Oh, I'm tired. I'm hungry. I have to go to bed before 3:50 rolls around. Needless to say, this meeting, this new position, quickly made my hate-to-do list. So I questioned it. Why? Why am I doing this? I never got a good answer. So I ended up drafting a formal letter and officially resigned. I felt bad at first, like I was quitting. Thou shalt not quit, even if it makes you unhappy, right? Wrong. I deserve to be happy. It's my birthright, so I did it. Now, the leader of the council, the president, was sad to see me go, but also understood why I was leaving. What's interesting is that there were people that actually wanted the position. It made their happy list. They had the energy, they had the time, they had the bandwidth to do it. So my eventual replacement, their life got better, but so did mine, significantly better. So I'm like, wow, this is fun. What else can I cut? Well, what else can I protect too? I love, for instance, I love watching my Philadelphia Eagles. This was on my list of events that bring me extraordinary pleasure. So I made a commitment to guard or protect that time because they don't play all year long. They only play for a couple hours on a Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. So you have to also guard the things you enjoy. So when people would invite me to events that interfered with watching football, I learned to kindly but firmly decline such invitations. Guard the things you enjoy doing. Be firm in your position in doing it. Don't fall for the, oh, come on, it'll be great. You'll enjoy it. There are a lot of really talented, good sales reps just waiting to sell you on their dream over yours. Oh, come on, let's go. Let's lunch in Abilene. It'll be great. You'll see. Trust me. The same is true with people. When you outgrow certain relationships, let them go, especially when they're no longer mutually nourishing. Be firm. Sing that old Hall & Oates song. I can't go for that, can't go for that, can't go for that. It was a great song in the 80s, but the message from that song was incredible. It was about not being pushed around by powerful labels and others wanting you to fit comfortably in their world. Liberate. To be liberated means to be released from confinement. confinement, sorry. As the saying goes, if you love something, set it free, liberate it. If you love yourself, liberate yourself. Your life path is unique to you and only you. You're never in competition with anyone else, so don't spend any time worrying about someone else's list. All that's required this lifetime is to remember who you are and become your higher self. True nobility doesn't come from being superior or smarter than others, but from becoming superior to your former self. We're here to learn, to grow, and shift from a mind of fear to a mind of love. These may appear like confusing times, but confusion is that wonderful state, oftentimes just before clarity. While it may feel uncomfortable, it often precedes a breakthrough and understanding. The universal law of relativity provides that each of us will receive a series of tests or challenges designed to strengthen the light within. Each event has its own vibrational frequency and should be seen as, what am I to learn from this situation? The key is staying connected to the heart, because when we make choices not connected to the heart, they carry a heavy karma. Please think on that, resonate on that for a while. Peace, and thank you.